backpack, have the map, have a tour guide, have your Sherpa guide, and still get lost. Right? The best laid plans of mice and men. I can think of so many different ways to get at this. Good intentions. What's that biblical saying? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. The road to good health is the road to ill health is paved with good intentions too. Maybe I should say it that way. So I understand. I'm right with you. It's not any easier for me than it is for you. That I can tell you. It's not. I struggle just like everybody else in trying to keep myself on track, mindful, living mindfully, eating mindfully. It's not easy. There are temptations for me just as there are for you. And in this food culture in which we live, at every bend and turn, there is a unhealthy food temptation. You know, it's interesting. There was a time in both biblically, you'll find it biblically and in books and in where fruit, just plain, simple fruit was considered almost like a temptation. And I find it ironic, right? Biblically speaking, the apple with Adam and Eve, right? The apple got them in trouble. That Lucifer chose to pick a piece of fruit by which to corrupt humankind. It wasn't a Twinkie. It was an apple. And I'm not a biblical scholar. Being a young boy raised as a Catholic, it was catechism, not so much the Bible. It was the catechism that the nuns focused on. So I don't profess to understand the Bible with any great depth. Many of you are biblical scholars compared to me. But it was a piece of fruit. So there was a time when now fruit that's no pun intended, that's low-hanging fruit. I mean, people don't even go there anymore for temptation. And we've concocted all these different things. What did I report on yesterday? What was that, Katie? That drink, the bubble
tea, yeah, boba,
where they put tapioca balls in this drink with tea and milk and sugar, right, Katie? All that.
Yeah, it's tea, a little bit of tea, and then mostly milk and sugar and tapioca balls.
I mean, that's it. And this young woman ends up with over 100 of these balls undigested in her digestive tract. She was a young woman, a young 16 years old in China. So we've invented all of these temptations, and they are at every bend and turn. So it's very difficult. You know, there was the donut. Now there's the cronut, where you take a croissant and a donut, put those together. Now, admittedly, I've had a bite. I have not eaten a complete one. I had a bite of one, and it did taste better than a donut. I admit. So you need the mic.
It's on.
Oh,
we can't do anything about it.
Wonder why it's delay like that.
I don't know.
You have a loose wire?
Well.
Huh? I'm talking about the mic.
Oh, okay. So there is a fast food company that has come out with combining their biscuit with a cinnamon bun.
What do they call it?
The Cinnabiscuit.
Cinnabiscuit.
I saw that, and it looks absolutely awful.
Find a picture of it, Gary.
Ugh.
I'll send you a picture.
The Cinnabiscuit. When you go into the mall, in the food court, they will have the Cinnabon concession. Katie I read her lips. She just smells so good. It smells so good. It does. All that is doughy, a gooey dough with sugar and a lot of cinnamon on it and icing. Yeah. So it's hard. It's hard to stay healthy. I get it. But we keep trying. Oh my! Sometimes I feel like it's you're fighting. It's like I'm like one little pebble on all the pieces, one little pebble of sand of all the deserts. It doesn't. I think, what impression can you make, and what difference can you make? Or one drop in all the oceans. But we keep trying, and with your help, we can do this. And here's how you can help.
877-897-8255. That's 877-897-TALK. Dr. Garko's personal email is drgarko@letstalknutrition.com. Also go to our Facebook page at Let's Talk Nutrition, to our YouTube channel at Let's Talk Nutrition, where everything is archived by title. It's closed caption for the hearing impaired, and it's live. Also, Instagram. Go to our Instagram page. Check it out.
I keep, there's something interesting. I live here in Tampa, and of course, I'm local. I don't travel around the country. But we can get a good sense of what's going on with this show in terms of listenership and viewership and how people are reacting. When people start to come up to me, what's happening now is more and more people just walk up to me if I'm at the gym or wherever and recognize me and then want to talk. That tells me that it's not scientific, there's nothing scientific about it. But it's different than it used to be. Now the show has become more popular thanks to you. So hopefully we're having some effect. There is a interesting story trending. I alluded to this, I alluded to this yesterday when I talked about, a difficult issue was abortion, and I said I don't run away from these issues, and I mentioned euthanasia, medically assisted suicide, as one of those difficult issues. Well, lo and behold, what comes over the transom this morning? Maine. The state of Maine has legalized medically assisted suicide. They join 7 other, they are the 8th state, including, and as well as the District of Columbia, to have assisted, medically assisted suicide. You should know my point of view about that. I favor it. I think it's appropriate. I think it's, I think people have a right to choose the way they would want to leave this earth. That being said, now you know my bias, but I'll try to report this in a straight-up way. Governor Janet Mills, Democratic governor of Maine, signed the Maine Death with Dignity Act. What this act permits is for doctors to prescribe terminally ill, notice the language, patients a fatal dose of medication. This is now 20 years subsequent to Oregon, the state of Oregon, when it first legalized medically assisted suicide. I'm reminded of Dr. Kevorkian. And Dr. Kevorkian, in many ways, was vilified and misunderstood. Granted, he was a peculiar. If you look at some of his paintings, it's an insight. If those paintings are revelatory about what was going on in his head, take a look at some of Dr. Kevorkian's paintings. I mean, they're awfully strange. But I think he was misunderstood, and I think he was wrongfully vilified. And I think he went about it in the wrong way. Come back, I'll tell you more about the story. It's intriguing.
cost way too much. Not so at Vitamin Discount Center. Here's why. VDC sells leading national brands up to 50% off MSRP every day. Competitors' prices are matched for identical products with proof of price. If you're in the military or are a first responder, you get an additional 10% off VDC's already discounted prices. VDC even offers case discounts. And you can get connected with VDC's VIP mobile text program for additional savings and customer rewards throughout the month. The choice is clear. You can save at Vitamin Discount Center. For a store nearest you, visit vitamindiscountcenter.com or call 813-907-7066. That's 813-907-7066. Vitamin Discount Center. For life, for less.
Want to get at the core issues that make weight loss so difficult? Try PGX from Natural Factors. This revolutionary product is clinically shown to help people achieve their ideal body weight in a safe, natural way. PGX helps you feel full for hours, dramatically reduces the glycemic index of any food or meal, and ultimately causes the release of the compounds that achieve two important goals in weight loss. 1, telling your brain that you're satisfied so you eat less, and 2, improving the action of the hormone insulin. As medical doctor Mark Hyman said in his best-selling book Eat Fat, Get Thin, if you choose to use only one supplement, PGX is the most important. If you've ever tried to lose weight and failed, you need the tremendous support of PGX from Natural Factors. For more information on making your weight loss dream a near effortless reality, visit pgx.com.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by Jarrow Formulas, superior nutrition and formulation. Natural Factors, where great health begins. Kyolic, aging makes the finest garlic truly odorless. Celsius, live fit. Flora, 100 years of herbal wisdom. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Assisted suicide is a form of suicide carried out with the aid of another person, specifically a physician, and it's referred to as physician-assisted suicide, PAS. It's either a physician or a certified healthcare provider. Once the doctor makes a diagnosis or has otherwise determined that the person is terminally ill, then a prescription can be written for drugs or a drug that will inspire the death of a person, bring about the death, a lethal dose of some drug. In many states or jurisdictions, it is well known that helping a person to die by suicide is a criminal offense. You will go to prison. You will be punished. However, there are now 8 states where people can choose to die at a time and place of their choosing. Maine is now among the 8, including now also the District of Columbia. Assisted suicide is controversial in our country. In other countries, not as much. You have Canada, Belgium, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, Colombia, Switzerland, Australia, or other countries in which people can participate in making a decision about when, where, and how they would choose to die. I remember seeing one documentary about assisted suicide. It was in Switzerland. At this facility, it was an idyllic place. It was absolutely beautiful. And they showed the whole procedure except for up until when the time came to administer the drug, they closed the door. The camera shot was on the door, and the doctor and the nurse were in the room and the door closed. And, people with multiple sclerosis, Lou Gehrig's disease, whatever, these horrendous, horrific cancer that were in end stage. And it was a beautiful place. I mean, it was not grim. The family was there. And the people, many traveled from other countries to go because where they lived, they couldn't have that done. I personally advocate for this. I know that there is a religious implication involved, and people will say, well, only God has the right to intervene. But what about when doctors keep patients alive? Isn't the physician interfering with God's plan there too? Right? That's how I think about it. But I've watched my share of people suffer with cancer, and I don't know. It changed. A lot about me changed. A lot of my attitudes and beliefs and value. Not so much. Well, some of my value, not much, but some of my attitudes and beliefs changed. Watching a lot of people being very sick and dying, that will have an effect on you. So I don't know where you come down on this. If you'd like to share your view, you certainly can call the show.
You can reach us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-TALK. My mother suffered 2 strokes and a heart attack within a matter of 48 hours.
They do a non-resuscitate?
She had a DNR on her. When I finally got up to Tennessee and was able to present them with her living will and everything, they took her off everything.
Mm-hmm.
My family was angry with me for about a year.
Because you did that.
Because I did that. My mother worked in some history.
Wasn't she working in a nursing home?
Worked in a nursing home her entire life. And
she saw
it firsthand.
Her share.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I laugh about it now, but we would walk through the nursing home. I would come visit her, and I worked with her for a while, and I would come visit her, and we'd walk down the hall, and she'd say, if you put me in a nursing home, I swear I will come back and haunt you and make your life miserable. And I was like,
well, I respect that. My mother made it abundantly clear to me. She told me many times that she did not want to. She said, if I have a heart attack, or tell them to let me go. Because I explained to her that at her age, at 93, if she had a severe coronary, and her quality of life would not be good. I talked with the doctors about it. And my mother, as it turned out, died quietly in her sleep. But I watched my mother die.
Now, you were her medical surrogate, though, too, weren't you?
Yes. I mean, I watched her day by day pass away. I know many of you have had that experience. It's not easy to watch. And I watched her fade away moment by moment. It took it took a while. She only spent a year in a nursing home. And I promised my mother, I said, I will not put you in a nursing home unless I can no longer take care of you. And I got to that point.
I want to know what Katie feels about this.
Well, I'll ask her. She's a lot from a different generation.
I do have a similar situation with the nursing home. We'll get back into it. But
okay.
I do have thoughts on this.
All right. And this is a complicated issue. The show is about life. This show is about health, but it's a show about life, and death is a part of life. LTN Coast to Coast and globally.
Don't be stressed out or anxious. Take Hempanol, the and ready to take on the day. To place your order, to find out where to find Hepinol in your area, call 1-800-243-5242, 800-243-5242, or visit us at oregonol.com.
1250 WHNZ. Online at WHNZ.com. On your phone with the iHeartRadio app. And on hundreds of devices like Alexa, Google Home, Xbox, and Sonos. An iHeartRadio station. News on 1250 WHNZ.
No more working out in the heat for now. The Hillsborough County School District has ordered a halt to all athletics activities after a 14-year-old died after collapsing during football conditioning drills on Tuesday. Schools are being instructed to review safety protocols and make sure all students participating have a clean bill of health. And a rainbow overhead as Orlando marked 3 years since 49 people died in the Pulse nightclub massacre. Earlier, Governor Ron DeSantis visited the site of the tragedy and promised to approve $500,000 for a permanent memorial. President Trump's calling it the hottest ticket ever for his live rallies. Trump tweeting that 74,000 people have requested tickets to his appearance in Orlando next Tuesday. With Florida's news, I'm Chris Trankman.
Minor wreck in Palm Harbor on US 19 and Nebraska. Also, we're seeing delays in Riverview on US 301 near Crescent Park Drive. At least one lane is blocked there. Slow traffic still on northbound 275 off the Howard Franklin Bridge. And we're seeing a bit of a delay on southbound 275 through downtown Tampa. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm, Abrahamson Uterick, Hillsborough. Traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is sponsored by Walgreens. At Walgreens, your day doesn't have to stop for diabetes. Get expert diabetes advice 24/7. Find all major brands of testing supplies like Walgreens TrueMetrix. And download tools to help you stay on track. Stop by and talk to your Walgreens pharmacist today.
This is your breakfast wake-up call from Panera Bread. Don't start your day with a greasy processed breakfast. At Panera, breakfast to go no longer means to settle. Wake up with their new maple glazed bacon, scrambled egg and cheese breakfast wrap. And pair it with their new Madagascar vanilla cold brew. All made 100% clean and ready to go with rapid pickup at the push of a button. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and that means compromising isn't an option. Panera, food as it should be.
Welcome back to CarMax Will Buy It. Let's jump right back into the action. A used minivan with 200,000 miles. Cassandra.
CarMax will buy it.
That's correct. The car you're driving now. Cassandra again.
CarMax will buy it.
You're on a roll. Any car at all, no matter what. Jerry?
Is the answer CarMax will buy it?
That's right, because CarMax buys all the cars, no matter what. No questions asked. CarMax will buy it.
From the Ruud Air Conditioning Weather Center. Rely on Ruud.
Your Tampa Bay forecast, partly cloudy with a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms, high 90. Tonight, rain slowly tapers off with a low 76. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds with a 40% rain chance, high 91. For more news, weather and traffic, tune to WFLA at 94.5 in St. Pete, 105.9 in Tampa, or 99.1 in Newport Richey.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Indeed, used by over 3 million businesses for hiring, where business owners and HR professionals can post job openings with screener questions, then sort, review, and communicate with candidates from an online dashboard. Learn more at Indeed.com/hire.
The Tampa Bay area is home to thousands of military veterans, and there's a feature here on 1250 WHNZ that's all about giving them actionable information as they transition to civilian life. I'm Navy veteran Eric Dane. I host CBS Eye on Veterans as we focus on vets 6 days a week. Join us for our daily 1-minute feature at 7:50 weekdays during the Gordon Deal Morning Show and for our weekly long-form show Saturday evenings at 6 here on 1250 WHNZ.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by CV Sciences, from seed to shelf. Form Essentials, makers of the sleep aid Solace. North American Herb and Spice, wellness for life. Natural Factors, where great health begins. New chapter, the benefit of nature's wisdom. Yerba Prima, pioneers in internal cleansing. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Thanks for tuning in. If you think music is therapeutic, then you might be interested in learning that Bruce Springsteen has a new album called Western Stars. I am not a country, you're talking to a next musician here, so country music is not one of my favorite genres. There's parts of it that I like. This album is pretty special. I heard a critical review on NPR about the album, and I do think music is therapeutic. And as I was listening to it, I heard Mr. Springsteen's voice in ways I've never heard it before. And if you're a fan of his, I can tell you this album is very different. You got full orchestra, strings, oboes. You know, it's not the E Street Springsteen that you know. It's a very different album. He's 69 years old. I bring that up. And in our culture, you know, there's a paradox here. On the one hand, they say, oh, the new 60 is the new 40. Yeah, well, that's a nice thing to say, but that's not how people are in the 60s, 70s, and 80s are treated. Ageism is alive and well in this country. He's 69 years old, and this album, it's a 50-minute album, and there are echoes of Jimmy Webb, Glenn Campbell, the Mamas and the Papas in this album. It is quite remarkable. Interesting. It has to be critically acclaimed. I mean, from just the takes that I heard, and the title song "Western Stars," he demonstrates a sensitivity that is quite remarkable. And his voice, I mean, he has a beautiful voice when he's not screaming and yelling. It's a nice voice. But anyway, that's a sidebar. But I do consider music therapeutic. We've been talking about the state of Maine, who has the oldest median age of all the states in the country. So it's an older state in terms of its population. And the governor just signed into law, doctor-assisted suicide or physician-assisted death, PAD or PA, whatever you want to call it, PAD or PAS. And I'm in favor of it. Now, Gary is in favor of it too, I suspect, given what he's shared about his mom. Now, Katie is of a younger generation, and young people typically don't think about death all that much. But I was just curious, Katie. First, how do you feel about doctor-assisted suicide?
I am absolutely in favor of it, 110%.
Why?
I had a grandpa who, well, obviously I had a grandpa. He had Alzheimer's, very bad. I moved up north right after I graduated high school, and I took care of him for a couple years. And then we moved down to Florida, and he was in an assisted living facility. But before he got into the assisted living facility, when he was still coherent and he knew he had Alzheimer's, he wanted to be done. He wanted to end his life. He told us several times, I'm going to go out back. I'm going to end my life. And it broke our heart. And then, he got to the point where he didn't remember that he felt that way, and he didn't remember. And same thing you said about your mom. I watched him die in the nursing home. It took a very, very long time. He forgot how to eat. He forgot how to drink. So he was just laying there until he eventually passed away overnight. And there were so many times that I wished that was an option for him, because he wasn't living a life. He was merely existing, and I know that's not what he would have wanted for himself.
Mm-hmm. And people make the argument, and I respect the argument, that we're intervening in God's plan. But as I said, when physicians keep a patient alive, isn't the physician intervening in God's plan as well? If you believe in that God has destined people to die at a certain time and place and way, then any kind of intervention is intervening in God's plan. So I think when done, they have a lot of safeguards in place to make sure that people don't abuse this right, this law. But I do think it's the right thing to do, at least from my perspective. And we'll see where it goes. They're the 8th state to approve this form of, what can I call it? Social intervention into a person's life, where a legal intervention where you allow people to choose the way they want to die. And usually they administer a lethal dose of a drug, and there's no pain, and you go out quietly, die with dignity. It's that's the thing that with Alzheimer's, Katie, people have often said to me they would rather die than have Alzheimer's.
My grandpa was as soon as he found out and he started realizing like he was forgetting stuff, he told us that repeatedly. He didn't want to be alive anymore. He didn't want to go through it. Because,
you lose your dignity and you're totally at the mercy of others, and I get it. So anyway.
You talk about music being therapeutic. This is just a random sidebar as well. Music was the one thing my grandpa, when he got Alzheimer's, could remember. You could put on a Johnny Cash song. He wouldn't remember what my name was, but you put on a Johnny Cash song and he could have sang every word to it. It was amazing.
Wow. Isn't that something?
It was incredible.
That is something. Yes, indeed. I get it. I get it. Music has been part of my life since I was earliest memories. My mother had the radio on, classical music. It was WLOA in Braddock, Pennsylvania, which was a blue collar steel town, and they had a classical music station there. I still remember the call letters, WLOA in Braddock, Pennsylvania. And that's what I listened to all day long, classical music. From the age, I can remember as early as age 2. So it's been part of my life, and that's how I feel about it. It is therapeutic. 877-897-8255. Toll free. We love being here with you. I hope you're doing well, doing your best to take care of yourself. As I opened the show today, I know how difficult it is to do that. There are a number of other stories trending that one that is rather still contemporary, but archaeologists sometimes come across interesting findings. A 2,500-year-old tomb offers some evidence, and they say probably the earliest evidence of humans doing what? Using what? Well, cannabis. Apparently, they figured out that cannabis put them in an altered state. Cannabis as a crop has been cultivated for thousands of years. Heretofore, though, there's been not all that much historical or archaeological data or evidence demonstrating or showing when humans began to use it. When we come back, I'll tell you about this story. It's kind of interesting.
Cultural hemp. Yes, after 70 years of prohibition and misunderstanding, hemp is back to help you stay healthy and balanced. Growing research is showing that we have a lot to learn from the remarkable hemp plant. Nutrient-rich products like Plus CBD Oil's Total Plant Complex concentrated products provide broad-spectrum nutrition, including fatty acids, plant sterols, cannabinoids, terpenes, and naturally occurring vitamin E. From seed to shelf, all Plus CBD Oil products provide the highest quality hemp-derived CBD products available and are offered in a variety of delivery systems and flavors to suit your needs. Ask your local independent health food store about Plus CBD Oil products by CV Sciences today and learn more about the CBD evolution at pluscbdoil.com. That's pluscbdoil.com.
Did you know that you have 3 brains? Yes, you heard right. Exciting new research reveals you have 3 brains: your head brain, your heart brain, and your gut brain. These 3 brains are like an orchestra with billions of neurons working together to create a harmonic symphony. This intricate relationship between these 3 brains impacts your mental, emotional, and physical health. The 3 Brain Supplements from Natural Factors is a bold new innovation in mental health. It provides a whole-body approach to balance brain health and well-being. Start with the 3 Brains Total Kit, which includes 5 supplements that are essential for 3 brain health. The kit provides foundational support for all 3 of your brains. Then, depending on your unique needs, choose from Higher Thoughts to enhance brain performance, Mental Sunshine for healthy mood balance, Serene Mind to relieve stress-related fatigue, or The Best Sleep for restful sleep. Learn more at 3brainshealth.com.
This is Dr. Michael Garka, host of the nationally syndicated health talk show, Let's Talk Nutrition. Way too often, dietary supplements cost way too much. Not so at Vitamin Discount Center. Here's why. VDC sells leading national brands up to 50% off MSRP every day. Competitors' prices are matched for identical products with proof of price. If you're in the military or are a first responder, you get an additional 10% off VDC's already discounted prices. VDC even offers case discounts. And you can get connected with VDC's VIP mobile text program for additional savings and customer rewards throughout the month. The choice is clear. You can save at Vitamin Discount Center. For a store nearest you, visit vitamindiscountcenter.com or call 813-907-7066. That's 813-907-7066. Vitamin Discount Center. For life, for less.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by American Biotech Labs, your daily immune system support. Ridgecrest Herbals, take your health to a higher elevation. Ancient Nutrition, nutrition for a modern world. Reviva Labs, the natural skincare authority. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Yes, WLOA 1550 AM in Braddock, Pennsylvania. I can only find one link, just one, that discusses that history. It's almost like as if it didn't ever exist. That's shameful. My goodness. Nevertheless, we are in now 60 affiliates across the U.S., and we more so than we were 14 years ago. When we were just a local show here in the Tampa Bay area. So thanks to you. Thank you so much. History is remarkable, and archaeologists are always trying to dig up, no pun intended, some evidence about the history of humans. And what they found in this new study, an excavation, that a 2,500-year-old tomb, pardon me, in western China. And what they found in the tomb were artifacts that provide some of the earliest and convincing evidence that humans used cannabis for its psychoactive properties. Well, what do you know? Our ancient ancestors wanted to get high. Scientists from China and Germany analyzed wooden fragments and burnt stones from posts in the tombs. Pots. No pun intended. Pots in the tomb, or pot in the tomb, And the results showed an exact match to the chemical signature that cannabis leaves, particularly with high amount of tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, the most potent psychoactive chemical compound or agent in the plant. I find this kind of ironic given the current trend in rage and rave over cannabidiol as it's derived from hemp. And because cannabis is the plant, right? But they have literally bred out all the THC in literally nearly all of it out of the hemp. So you won't find that psychoactive agent. Nicole Boivin, director of the Max Planck Institute of Science of Human History and an author of the report, said the cannabis was burned on hot stoned in all these puns, inside wooden braziers, containers for hot coals. They were clever. They figured out how to do this. Quote, this is the only way that cannabis could have been smoked prior to the arrival of pipe technology. So they burnt it on a rock, put it in a pot. How clever. Which is not until much later. So they didn't have a pipe to smoke it. They didn't roll it. So they just burned it and inhaled the fumes. They found 10 of these pots in a cemetery near the Chinese border with Pakistan, right? There's a town there, the Pamir Mountains. It's long been a mystery when and where, I'm giving credit to CNN in their reporting, where varieties of cannabis plants with higher levels of psychoactive compounds were recognized and where humans used them to get into an altered state. Cannabis plants were cultivated in East Asia. That's where they are. I reported on this the other day. They are indigenous to that part of the world for their oily seeds and fiber. That's what they used them for. This goes back at least 4,000 years before Christ. However, the early varieties of cannabis, CNN reports, as well as most most wild populations of the plant, had low levels of THC and other compounds with psychoactive properties. I'm looking at some of the artifacts. I don't know if you found that story on CNN. Did I send it to you?
Yes.
I did. These artifacts are interesting and how they smoked it. They didn't literally smoke it. I guess they inhaled the fumes. That's what I infer from the reporting. So humans left to their own devices, we think there's always something new under the sun. Well, this is not necessarily new under the sun. And the country seems to be becoming more inclined to embrace the use of medical marijuana and as well as recreational in Denver or in Colorado.
Michigan.
And where?
Michigan now.
In Michigan as well? Of all places. You can buy it. You have the state store where they sell liquor. Now they have, what did Stewart call those shops? What's the term?
Dispensaries.
Dispensaries. You can go in and purchase your weed. I don't smoke, so. And by the way, the smoke from reefer, old musician term, is just as lethal as cigarette smoke. Just so you know. If I were you, I'd put it in a brownie or,
Well, actually, they should try CBD oil. And, and that's the thing with the CBD oil coming out now.
But it doesn't get you high. CBD doesn't get you high. CBD has no THC in it. Now, some people have machines where what do? They make
vapor.
No, they put it and they make like a cream.
Oil.
An oil.
Yeah.
With the THC. So that's how if I were to use that, that's what I wouldn't smoke it. I'm not going to get lung cancer. Mm-mm. 877-897-8255. Just let you know that our ancient ancestors were, having fun.
Getting dialed in.
There's a story published in the Baltimore, I like the Baltimore Sun, by the way. I don't know if you do. You should get on to their, they'll give you some free looks, and then they want you to subscribe, but that's a good newspaper. And they've been reporting on the cruise lines. How many passengers got sick on cruises leaving Baltimore? The headline was. The CDC has an answer for that and more. This was a story written by Lillian Reed of the Baltimore Sun, giving Lillian clearly attribution. Very nice story. The CDC monitors these ships. I don't know if you knew that or not. I didn't know. They closely monitor health standards on commercial ships. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No.
I did not know that. Much like restaurants, cruise ships, including those that sail in and out of the port of Baltimore, they were reporting, are required to undergo sanitation inspections. In this story, when they inspected some of these ships, they found, it's disgusting what they found. Fly larvae near food serving areas and food storage areas. Yeah. Thanks to the CDC, they're on the job. They need more people.
Are you tired of being tired? So was Amanda until she tried Floradix Iron and and FloraVital available at your local health food store. For more information, visit florahealth.com/Floradix. florahealth.com/Floradix.
The ever-increasing stress and toxicity we are exposed to from our environment, diets, and lifestyles make internal cleansing a necessary part of a good health regimen. Founded in 1980, Yerba Prima was the first company to launch a whole-body internal cleansing kit. Since that time, they have continued to develop and manufacture a complete range of all-natural, high-quality fiber and internal cleansing products. By using all-natural psyllium fiber and no harmful stimulant laxatives, all Yerba Prima fiber and internal cleansing products can be used over a long period of time to ensure optimal health and regularity. With nearly 30 years dedicated to all-natural cleansing products, it's easy to see why Yerba Prima is a leader in the fiber and cleansing products category. Learn more at yerbaprima.com. YERBAPRIMA.com, or visit your local health retailer. Yerba Prima, pioneer in internal cleansing products.
The preceding was a commercial program paid for by Let's Talk Nutrition, LLC.
I've gotten really into a podcast recently that I do, and that's been my favorite thing I've ever done. Turns out I should have got a history degree, because I do a historical kind of research podcast, which is really random, I know.
Really?
But I am super passionate about it. Yeah, I've gotten really, and I do a comedic take on it, because basically my angle is I've tried to listen to a lot of history-type podcasts, and they're too dry for me, where the information is great, but the delivery is just too kind of slow and
pedantic.
Too pedantic. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And I just can't focus. So I try to make mine a lot more lively, add some humor, make it a little more irreverent, because I think there is so much funny stuff, when you look back. And I do some current events too. It's like an information-based podcast, but most of it is history. I just did Rasputin, and it's just the weirdest stuff that you can't make up.
His podcast is called Time Suck, and you can find it on iHeartRadio. And Dan Cummins, very funny guy. I like what he does, history with a little twist to it. You'll find Time Suck with Dan Cummins, and you'll find it on iHeartRadio.
1250 wins WHNZ Tampa Bay. Available everywhere you want to listen on our free iHeartRadio app. Download it now.
is CBS News on the Hour. Real news, real reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We're learning more about an attack on 2 oil tankers near the Persian Gulf overnight. Live to the Pentagon and correspondent Cammie McCormick.
Deborah, the tankers are owned by Japan and Norway, and the crews believe they hit mines or were struck by torpedoes. The USS Bainbridge rescued more than 20 of the crew members. Iran also took on some, but one official says those crew members had no choice but to go with him, and they are still in Iranian hands. A U.S. defense official is now saying it's highly likely the attacks originated from Iran. The U.S. will try to gather enough debris to come up with some solid evidence, and its response will then depend on that evidence and the reaction from Gulf allies.
Last month, the U.S. blamed Iran after 4 tankers were hit by mines that had been attached to their hulls in the Gulf of Oman. President Trump is defending comments he made to ABC News about his willingness to accept information from foreign governments on political opponents.
This is somebody that said, we have information on your opponent. Oh, let me call the FBI. Give me a break.
This morning, he says he meets and talks to foreign governments every day about everything. He asks, should I immediately call the FBI? How ridiculous, he responds. In Memphis, violent protests over a deadly police shooting. WREG TV's Luke Jones.
A guy actually ran up, hit me in the side of my head, knocked me to the ground. It was very dangerous at that point. And then just minutes after that, that's when we were hearing police started firing tear gas.
Police say they shot a suspect wanted on felony warrants. 6 officers are hospitalized after responding to the protest. 3 people under arrest. Prosecutors in San Francisco are experimenting with artificial intelligence to reduce racial bias in the court system. They're removing names, race, hair, eye color, even specific neighborhoods from police reports so they won't influence decisions on charging suspects with crimes. We've been hearing about popular snacks and cereals that contain potentially dangerous levels of the same chemical found in weed killer. CBS's Dr. David Agus.
The farmer who doesn't use glyphosate is at a competitive disadvantage to his or her neighbor who does use it. So we have to figure out better and safer ways of doing it.
Tests by the Environmental Working Group found 5 times levels considered safe in Honey Nut Cheerios Medley Crunch. General Mills says it works closely with farmers to minimize pesticide use. Thousands of fans turn out at the airport in St. Louis to welcome home the Stanley Cup champs. The Blues skated to a 4-1 victory over the Bruins in Boston last night, winning the NHL championship for the first time in their 52-year franchise history. Deborah, this is CBS News.
CBS News Radio is your home for breaking news. With our team of reporters around the country and the world, we give you the coverage you can trust.
There's nothing like meeting face-to-face, and there's nothing like Zoom to make that happen. Zoom lets you connect and do business across town or around the world. Zoom ties together all of your communication needs into one easy platform for video conferencing, phone calls, group chat, webinars, and your conference rooms. Connect easily from anywhere, your mobile phone, your laptop, or conference room. Zoom is how business gets done. Get your free account at Zoom.com today. Meet happy with Zoom.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. 30% of Americans who are planning home improvements of $5,000 or more will pay for those renovations with a high-interest credit card. That may not be a great idea. A better idea may be to take cash out of your home with a Quicken Loans 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 4.375%. APR 4.65%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate subject to change. Pay 2.13% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Who's trending on the music charts? Rufio runs down the top albums of the week.
Country singer Thomas Rhett has scored his second #1 on the Billboard 200. His album Center Point Road sold 76,000 copies in its first week. Coming in at #2 this week is Billie Eilish with her album When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? DJ Khaled, Father of Assad at #3. Khalid's Free Spirit at 4. Miley Cyrus's new 6-song EP She Is Coming debuted at #5. Tyler, the Creator's former #1 album Igor at #6. Elton John's album Diamonds got a boost from the new movie Rocket Man to land at #7. The Baby, Baby on Baby at 8. The soundtrack to the live-action Aladdin at 9. And Ariana Grande's Thank You Next at #10.
All right. And that's what's poppin'.
I'm Rufio on iHeartRadio.
So northbound on 275 on the eastbound, the east end of the Howard Franklin Bridge.
Watch for a wreck on Collier Parkway at Willow Bend Parkway. And there's an accident on State Road 590 at Mission Hills Boulevard. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Utica Hillsborough traffic tip line at 866-545-9595.
This report is sponsored by KFC. KFC's new dessert will satisfy your cravings for sweets and biscuits. The Cinnabon Dessert Biscuit is KFC's classic warm flaky biscuit smothered in Cinnabon cinnamon sugar glaze and cream cheese frosting. For a limited time, get 4 of them free with a 10-piece meal. It's finger-licking good and only at KFC.
The following is a commercial program paid for by Let's Talk Nutrition, LLC. The opinions, viewpoints, and promises made during the following program are not those of WHNZ AM, its staff, management, or parent company, iHeartMedia Incorporated.
Statements made during this broadcast regarding products or the claims made about specific products have not been evaluated by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Products and treatments discussed are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Make your physician aware of all nutritional supplements used and immediately notify your physician if you have any health concern or undiagnosed sign or symptom. Let's Talk Nutrition is a health talk show that features scientists, authors, nutrition specialists, personal trainers, holistic healers, and experts in traditional, natural, and integrative medicine. Listen for a chance to win daily prizes and follow Let's Talk Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram at Let's Talk Nutrition or on Twitter at LTN Radio. It's time for some inspiration. Tune in to get fit and healthy. It's time to talk about nutrition. Nutrition for your body, your mind, your spirit. It's time to talk about proper exercise, stress relief, eating well, and supplementation to help. Get ready to take charge of your health because your health is your wealth and the wealth of those who care about and love you. It's time for Let's Talk Nutrition with Dr. Michael Garko. Welcome to the show.
And welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk Nutrition. We're coast to coast and we're global for sure. Well, how do we know we're global? Well, because we get emails from people around the world watching the show. And that is one concrete way for us to determine how many watch, because once they hit that button to watch on the 4 different platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, and the LTN website, letstalknutrition.com, that's recorded. There's a record made. And the company that we hired to do that keeps that record. So we know we're getting about 30,000 a day. So what's the math on that for a month, Katie? Figure that out. 5 days a week, 30,000 a day. How many would that be? Katie's behind the glass. Gary's with me on this side of the glass. Katie works the board. She's part of the show now.
600,000.
How many?
600,000.
All right. So over 500,000. That's worldwide. Most of it's in North America, but we find people in different Tokyo, in the Ukraine. I don't know how they find the show. They do. We're delighted to do that. And some of our sponsors are international companies. Wampanoag of America is one of them. They are the makers of Kyolic Aged Garlic Extract. Jim Lavelle is an educator for and representative for Wampanoag, Kyolic in specific, and he's been on my show a number of times, and a good guest. He has an interesting background, very much trained in the area of pharmacy, so he understands drugs and how they work and chemistry. A lot of emphasis on the show in biochemistry that really does pertain directly to what we talk about around here, which is a lot about nutrition, food, diet, and matters related, which is the foundation for the show. It is the nucleus of the cell for us. And, of course, we have other organelles within our cell, meaning other themes that we discuss on this show. Like I talked about doctor-assisted or physician-assisted suicide in the first hour. Talked about the use of cannabis. They found a tomb on the China-Pakistan border in the mountains, a 2,500-year-old tomb where they found artifacts that provide direct and clear evidence that humans engaged in the smoke. They couldn't roll it, and they didn't have pipes. But they inhaled the smoke, apparently, put it in pots, no pun intended, or on rocks. However they did it. So that was 2,500 BC, before Christ. So I reported on that. Talked about the CDC, which I did not know. I do now. Does monitor these commercial cruise ships, does inspections. You can go online at the CDC website and find the reports of the CDC on the inspection of these ships, these cruise ships. Now, without grossing you out, I can tell you that they, in their inspections of ships, I don't want to throw any particular cruise line under the bus. If you go to the Baltimore Sun, the article's there. But they found the presence of flies and several active house fly infestations near where they prepare food and in the eating areas. Oh, my goodness. They found a number of drips and pools of water. They found those, which are health hazards. In one pool, they found a shepherd's hook and flotation device. What are they? Is anybody walking around that kitchen or the dining room? I mean, what? A number of cruise lines have been implicated in the report. On the Baltimore Sun, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, they talk about these cruise lines. Of course, the cruise lines push back. I can understand. Royal Caribbean is a very good line. So I don't know, but you can find this public database of cruise ship inspections I've never been on a cruise. Gary, have you been on a cruise?
No.
Katie, have you been on a cruise?
I have. I was like 9, but yes, I have been.
Okay, so that was too young for you to remember. All you remember is going down the slide where the pool was, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Unlimited food, yeah.
Yes, okay. I don't know if Jim Lavelle's ever been on a cruise. He's out there in California, California cruising. I don't know. James, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on.
Great being on the show.
When's the last time you went on a cruise, man?
3 months ago.
Oh, geez. What ship, what line, and where did you go?
Carnival Cruise Line from Long Beach, California to Ensenada, Mexico. 5-day cruise. Took my son, who was on spring break, to get away from his football practice, and it was great. It was fine. Good food, pleasant.
What did you do? What kind of activities did you engage in on the ship?
Eating. One of the best activities.
The food is abundant.
I engaged in eating activities. No, I mean, I worked out and just relaxed. I mean, I'm plenty busy in my daily life. For me, a purpose of going there for 5 days was spend time with my family, relax, sit by the pool, get off the boat. We went to a winery and kind of did an ATV tour in Baja. It was great. Had a blast. I mean, I actually taught on several cruise ships over the years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you always hear these things. I mean, it only makes sense. I mean, how often do you hear a restaurant that's on land that has rat drippings or flies or whatever? I mean, it's a byproduct of the food service industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things get collected, unfortunately.
Yeah, they do.
And hopefully it's clean when you're eating it, right? I mean, you worry about it wherever you go.
You do worry. You do worry.
Yeah. Well, when I worked at the health department, I mean, when I first came out of school, I worked at the health department. I was a clinical pharmacist in a community pharmacy setting. And I just got a lot of the inside scoop on, things like, we think are, gas and indigestion after meals many times, and gastritis many times could be like a food-borne...
Food poisoning.
Way more frequent than you think.
I report, listen, food safety is a big issue on this show. I report on it a lot.
Yes. I could not agree with you more.
People need to be aware. Folks walk into a grocery store and they feel that it's safe. The food is, little do they know how, right? You laugh. I know.
Which is funny.
Well, isn't it true? Are people thinking about food
at the same time?
Well, people are not thinking about contamination when they walk into a grocery store.
No, they're not. I mean, look, it's contamination from all sorts of issues, right? I mean, from pesticides to foodborne bugs, right? You name it. I mean, plastics. You're getting it left and right there. So you got to, unfortunately, have to be a very smart shopper. Which brings up the whole issue of why we need to work on a health of our GI tract every day, and the effect of inflammation in your gut and how it affects your heart health. Right? There's all this stuff kind of ties together.
I want to get your. I don't know what the number is. This week I've been focusing on the theme of the gastrointestinal mucosal barrier and hyperpermeability. Leaky gut, intestinal permeability. I think, James, in my opinion, I don't have the exact statistic on the number of people that suffer from intestinal permeability and don't even know it. I have to think that it's at least 50% of the population, given the way we eat and live. What do you think?
Well, just clinically, and because I teach so many docs, it's the number one problem people work on.
Ding, 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 ding.
It's a component to everything else, right?
Hold your thought. Hold your thought. We'll give you a chance to break it down. With twice the herbs and Ridgecrest Herbal's patented Availablend formula designed to support the bioavailability of the original 13 herbs. Got a picky kid who doesn't like pills? Clear Lungs Liquid is safe for children and has a naturally sweet orange flavoring. And don't forget to check out Clear Lungs Immune and Clear Lungs Sport. Visit rcherbals.com or call 1-800-242-4649 and mention this ad to order the right Clear Lungs product for you. That's 1-800-242-4649.
Is getting a good night's sleep a challenge? Fortunately, there's a superior fast-acting sleep formula called Tranquil Sleep from Natural Factors. This non-habit-forming supplement contains a unique combination of melatonin, 5-HTP, and L-theanine, which works in harmony with your body's natural sleep hormones. Tranquil Sleep can help you fall asleep, stay asleep, sleep sounder, and wake up refreshed, all without feeling drowsy in the morning. The key benefit comes from increasing the time spent in the deeper stages of sleep. It's only in these deeper levels of sleep that we truly experience the rejuvenation, regeneration, and recuperation that sleep provides. Even if you think you get a good night's sleep, give Tranquil Sleep a try. You might be surprised with how much better you've slept by waking up with more energy and enthusiasm to start your day. Learn more at naturalfactors.com.
This is Dr. Michael Garka, host of the nationally syndicated health talk show, Let's Talk Nutrition. Way too often, dietary supplements cost way too much. Not so at Vitamin Discount Center. Here's why. BDC sells leading national brands up to 50% off MSRP every day. Competitors' prices are matched for identical products with proof of price. If you're in the military or are a first responder, you get an additional 10% off BDC's already discounted prices. BDC even offers case discounts. And you can get connected with BDC's VIP mobile text program for additional savings and customer rewards throughout the month. The choice is clear. You can save at Vitamin Discount Center. For a store nearest you, visit vitamindiscountcenter.com or call 813-907-7066. That's 813-907-7066. Vitamin Discount Center. For life, for less.
Celsius is a fitness drink which is clinically proven to function. How? Well, as a thermogenic, Celsius proprietary MetaPlus blend accelerates metabolism, increasing your body's ability to burn fat and calories. There are only two ways a body burns fat: through increased heart rate and our increased body temperature, thermogenesis. Drinking Celsius and then going into motion is double dipping. You're accelerating the burn, and the results are even faster. Celsius is your ultimate fitness partner. No high fructose corn syrup, no aspartame, no preservatives, no artificial colors or flavors. 100% of 7 essential vitamins. Proven in 6 published university studies. How does it work? Celsius proprietary MetaPlus formula, including green tea with EGCS, ginger, and guarana seed, turns on thermogenesis, a process that boosts your body's metabolic rate. Drinking Celsius prior to fitness activities is proven to energize, accelerate metabolism, burn body fat and calories. Invest in yourself. Drink Celsius. Look for us at www.celsius.com.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by Jarrow Formulas, superior nutrition and formulation. Natural Factors, where great health begins. Kyolic, aging makes the finest garlic truly odorless. Celsius, live fit. Flora, 100 years of herbal wisdom. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Increased intestinal permeability has been clearly, there's no question here, associated or otherwise implicated with a diverse constellation of diseases and disorders, including autoimmune diseases, gut-related diseases such as celiac disease, inflammatory bowel disease, ulcerative colitis, severe acute pancreatitis, chronic kidney disease, chronic heart failure, COPD, alcoholic liver disease, non-alcoholic liver disease, NAFLD, non-alcoholic NASH, which is nasty, liver cirrhosis, primary biliary disorders, cholangitis, obstructive jaundice, depression, type 1, type 2 diabetes. That's just to name a few. And I asked my guest today, Jim Lavelle, what I think at least, I don't have this is just a guess on my part. I'd have to check. But I think at least half of the population, their gut is leaking and they don't even know it. And that can be, and because initially they may not feel anything until bad things start to happen. James, what were you saying as we went into message?
Well, it was basically that leaky gut is just a core theme to once people start to break down and begin to get, quote, illnesses or conditions. Leaky gut's generally a component because the immune system's always is involved, right? 70% of your immune system's in your gut. When you think of it, you have environmental burden, so the amount of pesticides people have been exposed to, the kind of foods they eat affect their gut and the leakiness of the gut. The kind of drug therapy they've been on. So everybody that's on non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, people that are on cortisones like prednisone, people that take birth control pills, women, right? People that are on PPIs, the number 2 most prescribed drug commonly used over the counter. When you take proton pump inhibitors to block your stomach acid, you affect the gut integrity and induce leakiness. And probably one of the biggest things people don't understand, because I've been around a lot of practitioners, like, oh my gosh, we got to do a food allergy panel, and we're going to have you swallow tons of glutamine, and we're going to get you to take berberine to repair your zonulin, right, which is the signal that tells your tight junctions to get loose. What they forget about is that when people are under chronic stress, when your cortisol levels go up, and you start to release inflammatory chemicals called cytokines, those cytokines signal your gut to become leaky. So you could work on your food and your diet forever, but if you don't work on your stress management and get the stress response under control, you'll have a leaky gut. So you've got environmental burden, then you have your behavioral burdens, what you do with your diet, what you do with drug therapy. All of those things start to add into, and then of course genetics. In the case of celiac, you're prone, or even if it's not genetic, it becomes acquired and then triggers your immune system.
Do you think that intestinal permeability, this hyper permeability of where the gut is, where these tight junctions, these proteins are failing to do their job? Do you think that it is somehow correlated with coronary heart disease or cardiovascular disorders?
It's 100%. I mean, it's even been proven, because what happens is your gut gets leaky, and you lose the integrity of your microbiome. You know, your bugs, your good bugs, die off, right? And when your good bugs die off, you release something called circulating endotoxin, or lipopolysaccharide. And lipopolysaccharide has been correlated to triggering endothelial dysfunction, or the inflammation in the inner lining of the arteries. It's correlated to the worsening of multi-organ failure in heart failure. So as your heart starts to fail and you don't pump blood to your gut anymore, right, because it can't, you lose the nourishment to the bugs in your gut. The bugs die, and they release circulating endotoxin. That attaches to your liver, to your kidneys, attaches to your heart, triggers multi-organ failure. And so there's a direct correlation. And it's funny, I mean, you know, kind of the functional or functional cardiologists, or the people that are at least integrative in their cardiology, say they're as big of gastro guys as they are cardiologists now, because they realize how important the integrity of the gut is.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think I would say that 70% of our population, because if you think about it, half our population is diabetic or pre-diabetic.
Yep.
And even the American Diabetes Association has recognized that lipopolysaccharide is the big trigger for metabolic syndrome and is present in people with diabetes. But yet they don't do anything to talk about educating people on the value of probiotics, using fiber, fixing these tight junctions, taking away the stressors that create the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's why aged garlic, I think, is so.
Okay, you were reading my mind. What's the segue to get to, you know, typically the Kyolic aged garlic extract, people associate that with the heart, with the organ, right, that organ system. We're trying to make that connection to the gut and the heart, this link. Where does it intersect in that relationship?
Yeah, it's interesting, because the latest study they did on people with hypertension is they measured people with resistant hypertension. Is they measured their microbiome, so they looked for diversity or improvement in the gut flora. And what they found, once again, you know, you almost feel like Kyolic is like the Swiss Army knife of the natural product industry, right? Because they found that it acts as a prebiotic, it improves diversity, and it's been well established for a while that it kills off bad bugs like H. pylori and Candida, which contribute to creating leaky gut, right? Because once you have Candida, you start making a lot of histamine in your gut. And when you start making a lot of histamine in your gut, the histamine creates inflammation in the gut.
Right. Now you have
inflamed. So,
now, okay.
You know, so
all right, we're headed in. We're headed in.
Garlic's so valuable, other than the actual direct effect.
We'll be right back.
Has.
Don't be stressed out or anxious. Take Hempenol.
Z.com on your phone with the iHeartRadio app and on hundreds of devices like Alexa, Google Home, Xbox, and Sonos. An iHeartRadio station. News on 1250 WHNZ.
President Trump claims his visit to Orlando next week is the hottest rally of them all, with 74,000 requests for tickets to a 20,000-seat arena. Trump's expected to officially kick off his re-election campaign. Hernando County deputies are searching for whoever's responsible for shooting 2 pit bulls in the head, wrapping their bodies in plastic, and dumping the dogs on a rural road in Webster. This neighbor tells News Channel 8 in Tampa.
I rescued one that was pretty well beat up, shot in the head, but was alive. It's disgusting. It upset me.
Residents say the remote location's been used for dumping dogs before. A trapper with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission celebrated a gender reveal party for his 10th child by having his pet gator pop a balloon, revealing pink powder for a girl. With Florida's news, I'm Chris Trankman.
From the Florida Central Credit Union Home Loans Traffic Center.
We still look slow northbound on 275 on the eastbound east end of the Howard Franklin Bridge. Had a crash on southbound Dale Mabry in the right lane at Stall Road, a wreck at State Road 590 and Mission Hills Boulevard, and a crash on Collier Parkway at Willow Bend Parkway. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Nederwick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line at 866-545-9595.
This report is sponsored by KFC. KFC's new dessert will satisfy your cravings for sweets and biscuits. The Cinnabon Dessert Biscuit is KFC's classic warm flaky biscuit smothered in Cinnabon cinnamon sugar glaze and cream cheese frosting. For a limited time, get 4 of them free with a 10-piece meal. It's finger-licking good and only at KFC.
Some job recruitment sites overload your inbox with resumes. Glassdoor knows not just any will do. From 62 million job seekers, Glassdoor only matches you with qualified candidates who have the skills and experience your small business needs to grow. In fact, Glassdoor hires are 30% more likely to stay with your company longer. And Glassdoor can help you find that perfect candidate in half the resumes. Go to glassdoor.com/hire. Glassdoor. Find the right fit for your business.
Hey guys, your prostate should be the last thing on your mind, but the fact is, the older you get, the more likely you'll have prostate problems, which can affect your everyday life. That's where Prostate Complete by Real Health comes in. Prostate Complete is the result of 20 years of experience as a leader in men's health. The powerful formula in Prostate Complete supports natural prostate function and reduced urinary urges for a better quality of life. Available at Walmart. Visit prostate1perday.com for special offers. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
From the Weather Center, Abrahamson and Uterwick. Visit theinjurylawyers.com. Pinellas Hillsborough.
Your Tampa Bay forecast, partly cloudy with a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms, high 90. Tonight, rain slowly tapers off with a low 76. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds with a 40% rain chance, high 91. For more news, weather, and traffic, tune to WFLA at 94.5 in St. Pete, 105.9 in Tampa, or 99.1 in Newport Richey.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Indeed, used by over 3 million businesses for hiring, where business owners and HR professionals can post job openings with screener questions, then sort, review, and communicate with candidates from an online dashboard. Learn more at Indeed.com/hire.
Dana Lash and the Dana Show on 1250 WHNZ.
All of these people go out of the Tupperware Fresh collegiate brainwashing emporium and they go right into government on the public teat. People like Bernie Sanders. Oh, well, he's only ever worked at public jobs. Oh, he wrote for a zine briefly. Is that not the most hipster-rific thing you've ever heard in your life? He sounds like the best guy to sit here and determine policy.
The Dana Show. Weeknights 10 to midnight on 1250 WHNZ.
Hey, it's Schnitt. If you missed any part of my show, go to WHNZ.com, click on the drop-down menu, and look for Schnitt Show Anytime.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by CV Sciences, from seed to shelf. Form Essentials, makers of the sleep aid Solace. North American Herb and Spice, wellness for life. Natural Factors, where great health begins. New Chapter, the benefit of nature's wisdom. Yerba Prima, pioneers in internal cleansing. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Your gastrointestinal mucosal barrier, to say that it's important is an understatement. It plays an essential role in as a separation or a barrier between the inside of your body from the outside environment. It is one layer of epithelial cells. That's it. And tight junctions, you heard my guest, James Lavelle, allude to them, are an important element and part, a component for the construction of this barrier of epithelial cells, and they regulate the permeability of the barrier by tightly sealing the cell, what they call cell-cell junctions. Now, it turns out that these tight junctions are proteins. You have claudins, occludin, junctional adhesion molecules, they call them, another element, and scaffold protein zonula occludins, the big fancy terms. Among these tight junctions, claudins are the major component of the TJs and responsible for the barrier gets destroyed. Nothing else should be in that bloodstream that's coming from your gut. Undigested proteins, endotoxin, exotoxins, whatever, should not be floating around in your bloodstream. They eventually, once they get into the bloodstream, the immune system kicks in. You got this inflammatory cascade that goes on, cytokine storms, and they talk about and whatnot. It's a mess. Some suspect that many of the autoimmune diseases are directly tied to this one particular issue, this dysfunction. James Lavelle is my guest. He's keenly aware of these things. And he believes that, and I do too, that Kyolic aged garlic extract, you're saying, well, it's for the heart. What does that have to do with my gut? He's trying to explain me and you how it is. James, how me and my Cuban friends, boy, I have a ton of them, and we have such a good time. I love them, man.
More plantains.
Oh, man. They say, Dr. Garko, explain me how this works. I said, I'll explain you. They make fun of me in my accent. Anyway, this business, I think it's so for us and professionals who are in clinic all the time, this is not an unimportant issue, and they're keenly aware. But I don't think the general public's walking around thinking about a leaky gut, do you?
No, they don't think about that at all. I mean, it doesn't even get explained to them. I mean, honestly, even though this shows up in all of the primary referee literature of virtually every specialty in medicine. So if you read about autoimmunity, there's scholarly articles on the gut. If you read about heart, there's scholarly articles on the gut. About diabetes, it's the same thing. About irritable bowel, it's the same thing. But yet the public ends up being told, suck on a Tums, take a Nexium and just eat what you want until you get sick enough, and then we either got to take your colon out or we've got to give you something for your autoimmunity or your diabetes. And one of the biggest things that you see now is as soon as someone gets diagnosed with like autoimmune thyroiditis, for example, which is meaning that your gut immune system has gotten so inflamed. So many cytokines are being released, so much lipopolysaccharides being released that it attacks your thyroid, right? Your body turns on itself. You're supposed to screen immediately for celiac and screen for diabetes every year. So it's even in the clinical decision tree that once you have one of these disorders that relate to food, like Hashimoto's, food antigen-induced thyroiditis, right? I eat these foods, I'm allergic to them, it triggers my Hashimoto's. You're more prone for other disorders and diseases. And I think it's been the center of my practice for the last 34 years is working on people's guts. And you have to test and you have to show them. And once you get people off of offending foods and you get their gut integrity back, they start going, oh my gosh, I'm not holding water. I'm not histaminic anymore. I don't have red splotches on my skin. I'm thinking clearly. My joints don't hurt. Gee, I don't have irritable bowel anymore. This is really crazy. You're just healing your body.
In clinic, what tests do you have conducted to give people a sense of whether or not they have intestinal you got that intestinal permeability test or the leaky gut test. That's a non-invasive test, right?
Yeah, easy test. There's several things you can do.
Okay.
The first one is if anybody gets a white blood cell count, they can get a differential, and they're monocytes, eosinophils, and basophils. Those are different kinds of white blood cells. If you add those percentages up, and it's greater than 9, more than likely your gut's a little leaky. If you're in the teens, it's pretty leaky. You can do what's called a lactulose mannitol challenge. You drink basically these sugars.
Yes.
And they seep through your bloodstream, and then you can pick them up in your bloodstream.
So in other words, the assumption is that you drink mannitol or whatever it is?
Yeah, lactulose and mannitol.
Okay. Yeah. So what they're assuming is that it's going to leak into your bloodstream, and then they can measure how much is in the bloodstream, right?
Right.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
So
and then you can get a blood test and you can look at zonulin.
Gary's
measure zonulin. You can measure lipopolysaccharide. There's things you can measure that'll tell you, you're pretty darn leaky.
Explain what zonulin is.
So zonulin is part of that protein scaffolding signaling. And the higher the zonulin is the trigger to tell your tight junctions to open up, kind of like a guard gate, right? So if your zonulin goes up, the guard gate stays open. And your zonulin's supposed to be that level is supposed to help you figure out, I need to absorb this magnesium, but keep this, this mercury out of my gut.
Okay. So
zonulin goes up when you have infection. Zonulin goes up under stress.
Explain again the mannitol, that test. Gary was looking at me like, you drink what? Tell him what you drink.
Yeah, you're drinking a sugar. You're drinking like a heavy sugar water. And what it does is it falls right through your gut lining if you have a leaky gut. So the more you pick up the mannitol in your bloodstream.
We'll be right back.
Want to get at the core issues that make weight loss so difficult?
Blend that delivers 3 health benefits. First, Zyflamend is an herbal approach to pain relief, helping to soothe minor pain or soreness. Second, Zyflamend is a joint supplement with time-tested herbs to support joint function and flexibility. And the third benefit, Zyflamend supports the body's healthy inflammation response, something that's essential for maintaining whole body health. Zyflamend is New Chapter's clinically tested blend of 10 remarkable herbs, including pure and potent turmeric, ginger, and green tea. Zyflamend is non-GMO, project verified, gluten-free, and 100% vegetarian. New Chapter is a leader in supplement quality. Every ingredient, every product, every time. Discover Zyflamend, New Chapter's #1 selling multi-herbal. Zyflamend is made with ginger for occasional pain relief after exercise. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The ever-increasing stress and toxicity we are exposed to from our environment, diets, and lifestyles make internal cleansing a necessary part of a good health regimen. Founded in 1980, Yerba Prima was the first company to launch a whole-body internal cleansing kit. Since that time, they have continued to develop and manufacture a complete range of all-natural, high-quality fiber and internal cleansing products. By using all-natural psyllium fiber and no harmful stimulant laxatives, all Yerba Prima fiber and internal cleansing products can be used over a long period of time to ensure optimal health and regularity. With nearly 30 years dedicated to all-natural cleansing products, it's easy to see why Yerba Prima is a leader in the fiber and cleansing products category. Learn more at yerbaprima.com. YERBAPRIMA.com, or visit your local health retailer. Yerba Prima, pioneer in internal cleansing products.
Have you been putting off a cleanse? They can be harsh and leave you chained to the toilet, making for an overall unpleasant experience. Rethink your cleanse with Fluorescence, a daily cleanse that helps safely and gently detoxify your body. Unlike other detoxes that can be hard on the body, Fluorescence supports your body's natural processes, helping it to work more efficiently than it could on its own. The truth is your body is really good at cleansing, but due to the number of toxins we're exposed to, it can use a little daily support. Inspired by traditional OB/GYN formula, Fluorescence is made with 8 herbs: burdock root, watercress, sheep sorrel herb, slippery elm, rhubarb root, kelp, blessed thistle, and red clover blossom. These herbs work together to support multiple elimination pathways, gently helping your body's detox systems do what they were made to do, only better. Forget harsh extreme cleanses and cleanse happy. Try Fluorescence for gentle daily cleansing that leaves you feeling rejuvenated. Find Fluorescence at your local health food store. For more information, visit florahealth.com.
Feel tired, lethargic, or irritable? Take Solace. You're one of millions of Americans that has trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. In fact, according to a national survey, 54% of adults have trouble sleeping. So what can you do about it? Take Solace. Solace is an all-natural dietary supplement formulated to support healthy sleep and relaxation. Solace can help you fall asleep and stay asleep naturally. Formulated with all natural ingredients, Solace is non-addictive and won't leave you feeling groggy in the morning. Take Solace an hour before bed and feel the calming effects of this extensively researched sleep and relaxation aid. For more information on Solace, call toll-free 877-533-7066 or visit TakeSolace.com. That's 877-533-7066 or take SOLUS.com. Look for Solace in your local health and nutrition store. Solace, for a good night's rest naturally.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by American Biotech Labs, your daily immune system support. Ridgecrest Herbals, take your health to a higher elevation. Ancient Nutrition, nutrition for a modern world. Reviva Labs, the natural skincare authority. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Here's the LTN health question of the day. Talking with James Lavelle today, and how Kyolic Aged Garlic Extract could help you with your digestive system, specifically with intestinal permeability, where your intestinal lining, that barrier, has been compromised. You heard James is in clinic all the time. He's a clinician, and they do certain that you can test to see if your gut is leaking, if that barrier has broken down. There are 3 generally accepted laboratory tests for leaky gut. They include the intestinal permeability test, where James told you that they use lactulose and mannitol. It's called the lactulose mannitol test, where you drink this sugar water. And then there's the food sensitivities test, which is a food intolerance test. And more recently, and you heard James refer to zonulin, they have a zonulin test. High zonulin, most likely you have a leaky gut. Here's the question. With the intestinal permeability test, that particular test where you, which measures the ability of lactulose and mannitol, 2 non-digestible sugars, to pass through the intestinal gut lining, do they test your urine? Or do they test your blood? Or do they test your saliva? What do they typically test? The urine, the blood, or the saliva for the intestinal permeability test? Now, I know I didn't give you the answer this time. You're going to have to guess if you don't know. So, is it the urine, is it the blood, or the saliva that they test to determine with that particular test, the intestinal permeability test?
877-897-8255. That's 877-897-TALK. And I had a question that came over Facebook from Christine. She asked,
what is the best form of Kyolic for somebody finishing up with breast cancer?
James.
The chemo. So.
James.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say there's one or two. I'd either do the immune formula, or I would just go ahead and do if she's done with her chemotherapy, and you're always concerned if you have extra botanicals in with the, aged garlic extract, is, just start with like Formula 100 or the Kyolic Reserve or the Kyolic tablet, and I would do 2,400 milligrams a day, because you know what, chemotherapy is one of the big things that creates a lot of gut permeability problems, right? That's why they have so much GI problems and mucositis. So getting on some Kyolic would really be a good thing, just as a supportive nutrient.
What's her name, Gary?
Christina.
And I would say this to Christina, based on my personal experience. Anytime, and you need to talk with your oncologist. You need to make your oncologist aware of what you will be taking. I don't know if he has you on other medications at the moment. I went through chemo and radiation, heavy doses. I'm keenly aware I did have mucositis. I had oral mucositis, and I know darn well that it affected my gut. It's taken me 2 years to repair my gut. I'm in the process of still doing that. The pain is off the chain. With long after, months after the treatment was over, I would find, I told Gary this not long ago, I would find myself buckled over on the floor with pain in my stomach. And I didn't have any clue. I never had that in my life. So I know that my mucosal lining had been severely damaged. So, but talk to your physician, your oncologist in particular, before you take anything. Just make sure she or he knows what you're doing. That was good advice, James. Let's go to Doylestown. Amy's in Doylestown. Nice people in Doylestown. Amy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Chilly, but good.
Chilly? This is... Yeah. No, can't be.
I'm moving, Doc. She said chilly.
No, she meant cold.
Oh.
Not food, Gary, not food. How cold is it in Doylestown today?
I'm sorry?
What's the temp in Doylestown?
I didn't look, but it's windy and rainy, so I'm saying high 60s.
Okay, not too bad. At least it's not snowing yet. Yet.
That's not I know.
So the intestinal permeability test, is that a urine test, a blood test, or a saliva test? Where they give you the lactulose and the mannitol, which are two non-digestible sugars, and if they pass through the gut lining and get into the bloodstream, then they know. So do they test your urine, your blood, or your saliva?
Urine.
How did you know that? Did you just guess?
It was a good guess.
It's a darn good guess because you're darn right.
That's right.
Let me ask you, honest answer. Before we started talking about it on the show, were you aware of intestinal permeability?
I've only heard of leaky gut from listening to your other shows.
Okay, so there you...
About the leaky gut.
All right. Thank you for being honest and saying that. That's why I wanted to know, because I don't want to waste your time or anybody else's time. If we were able to inform you about that disorder and that condition, we've done a good thing, even if it was just you.
I've learned a lot.
Well, I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that. You made my day. And we want to thank you for listening. We want to thank you for calling the show, and we appreciate you. You're in people in Doylestown, those people are the salt of the earth. Good people, hardworking, good. I'm familiar with that area. Were you born and raised there?
Nope, I was born in Chester County, so it's the other side of Philadelphia.
Okay.
Southern side.
That's where all the money is, right? In Chester County.
Then I better move back.
You better move back. Well, thank you, and we appreciate you so much. Thanks.
Thanks. Enjoy your show.
All right, we enjoy you, James. We always enjoy you. So Kyolic then can help make a connection. It can intersect between the gut and the heart or the cardiovascular system and serve people well, can it? Can it not?
Absolutely. One of the best choices you can make if you're trying to protect your heart, protect your gut, and really protect all your other organs in the process, right? So, you know, kidneys, liver, there's been great evidence that Kyolic can really be a benefit, you know, reducing non-alcoholic fatty liver and a bunch of other things.
When's the next anti-aging show?
It's about in a month, I think, in San Diego.
Are you going?
Of course. I'll have to lecture.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm always talking.
All right. I know you are, man. That's what you die.
Actually, the next one I got to do is in North Carolina next week. I think I fly out and get there on Friday for the Integrative Medicine Congress for North Carolina. So I got one next week, too.
Your health is your wealth. We love you.
Everyone's raving about the newest botanical superstar hitting the store shelves nationwide. Hemp-derived cannabidiol, or CBD, has been receiving a lot of attention for its tremendous promise on human health. Plus, CBD oil by CV Sciences